Welcome back to my garage, everyone. This episode we're going to do part one of cleanup of some rusty, crusty estate sale tools that I picked up a few weeks ago. There were so many of them that I'm breaking it up into two parts. I had to cull a bunch of them. A bunch of them were just really not worthy of a cleanup at this point. Maybe I'll, who knows, maybe I'll take them to Habitat for Humanity or something like that. They're not really bad. They're usable, but I just didn't want to fool with them this time. So the yield is fairly small, but I think there's a few keepers in here. So this will be part one, and part two will be coming along shortly. So here we go. Let's get into it. Okay, let's do a little preliminary cleaning here before I get a bath in the come on, Bill. Thank you. All right, the Globe Master tweezer. Stainless steel. Might be somewhat useful. Here is the Powercraft screwdriver, which I'm not going to put in the ultrasonic, because last time I did that it took all the paint off, so I'm not going to do that again. And the advertising screwdrivers. This is not a wire brush, it's a bristle brush. That's a magnet. Which I discovered earlier. Okay. These screwdrivers are not going in the ultrasonic bath because I don't want to risk removing the lettering. We'll deal with them in another way. Powercraft, I'm really happy to have, and I'm going to be real careful with it because I want to put it in my Powercraft collection. It's rather small at this point, but it's growing. Okay, take 3. These items are fresh out of the ultrasonic bath. The tweezer here is Globemaster Pakistan. I used some flits on it, and these are kind of useful whenever you're digging around in a box full of little screws or something. That needs to be straightened out there. I'll do that later. Here's an SK combination wrench that really didn't need an evaporator. None of this stuff needed evaporous bath. I just degreased them. There's the SK wrench, forged Ally, made in USA. This says C-10. Not quite sure what that means. I'm sure some of you guys do. 5/16. These are all Craftsman little combination wrenches. I think they're probably like ignition wrenches or something. The hex wrenches, I have no idea why I even bothered to clean them up. I'm just going to toss them in a box with my hundreds of other ones. But anyway, I can't bear to throw them away. These are a couple of little sharpening stones that were in one of the boxes here in the estate sale box. They were pretty grungy looking. They're still pretty grungy looking, but I think they're usable. This was sent to me by Dale over at Dale's Workshop in a previous that I showed in a previous video. I haven't looked, but I think it's some kind of a hone or something. My guess is. I tossed this in the ultrasonic and cleaned it up with the other stuff. I'm going to put some neat's foot oil on that and then put it in with my sharpening stuff. So that's that batch right there. That seems to be okay. These are a little bit worn, but I think they'll do. Okay, good. The ball came out without springing across the floor and getting eaten by the floor monster, and so did the spring. So now I'm going to wipe these off a little bit, and I'm going to give them an evaporous bath along with some other stuff. I may keep the ball and the spring out of the evaporest because I don't think they need it. They've been covered with oil. So the snap rings, I think I'll leave them out too. I don't think they have any rust on them. I'm going to put the rest of this stuff in just on general principles. Yeah, this thing's stuck. I'm going to put it in the evaporest. There's no rust on this. No need. The handle, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to put it in. I think that's maybe some rust down in there. Okay. I think only these two items here will go into the bath along with some other stuff. I decided to put these parts in because I think there's a little bit of rust on there. Tiny bit of rust on this Powercraft wrench. And I don't, you know, the evaporust won't hurt it, I don't think. So I'm going to put it in there. Screw holding screwdriver. I'm hoping the evaporust will loosen that thing. Here's a snap-on wrench that I'm hoping I can save. Let's see. This is a proto. Let's see what it is. 9523. I'm sure you guys are laughing at me because you know what this is and I don't. It's some kind of a little punch, but anyway, I'm going to put it in there. Here's a really rough looking SK extension. I'm going to throw it in there just to see what happens. Here is a thread chaser. I cannot read the maker's mark. It says Reading, Pennsylvania, and it ends in AW Manufacturing Company, Reading, PA. Anyway, I'm going to put it in there, and this Stanley utility knife. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty gnarly. Put that in the trash. I think I'll hit this a lick with wire brush before I put it in there. Be right back. All right, better. I've got a bunch of these things. I don't know why I need another one, but one of these days I'm going to clean them all up and make a presentable collection. But in the meantime, I can't stand to see the little thing suffer. So I'm going to see if I can clean it up a little bit. Okay guys, have a nice soak. See you in a day or so. This stuff's been soaking in evaporust for about 3 days now. Well, I hate to do it, but this poor little guy here is too far gone. I hate it because it's a snap-on, but the pits are just too deep. I don't want to spend any more time grinding on it. So I'm going to declare defeat on that one. Same with this one. The SK extension, just too far gone. I mean, it could be a user, but I'll toss it in a box and maybe hang on to it for a while or something. I don't know. Might take it back to, donate it to one of the habitat places where they have lots of tools. Anyway, I'm going to have to cull them out of this group. Too bad. Oh, and I finally learned what all you guys have been screaming at me about. I'm sure. You know what this is, and I didn't. I looked it up. This is a screw extractor. Professional screw extractor. Makes sense the way it's built. So now I learned something. Cleaned up pretty nicely. Here is the final yield from part one of the Rusty Crusty estate sale toolbox. We have a Stanley 10-099 utility knife that polished up nicely, I think. Here's a stainless steel tweezer, Globe Master Pakistan. Handy for picking out small bolts and nuts. I did a little research on this thread chaser. This is from the Jaw Manufacturing Company of Reading, Pennsylvania. I believe JAW stands for I think it's John A. Williams or something. Williamson, I believe. I forgot. That's not it exactly. But anyway, they're out of, I think they were founded in 1950. And nowadays they're known as Jawco. So this is in good shape except for some pitting right there. Some advertising screwdrivers. This says Ace Hardware on it. And this is a little Powercraft screwdriver, which I was glad to get. I'm going to put that in my Powercraft collection. And here's a Powercraft 9/16 and 1/2 open-end wrench, which will go in my Powercraft stuff. This is an SK combination 3/16, and these are Craftsman. I would call them ignition wrenches. So those are pretty nice little wrenches. This is a professional screw extractor. It's cleaned up nicely. I'm not really sure why I keep these, but you know, like probably everybody else, I got a box full of hundreds of them, so I'll just toss them in there. The Craftsman 3/8" drive, ratchet handle cleaned up pretty well. It's got some scratches right there, but it works fine. It's a single line V 43785, I think it says. Yeah, 43785. So I was glad to get that. So compared to what I pulled out of the box, the yield is rather small. Some of the other stuff went in the trash. Some of it will either get done later, or I might take some of the better stuff, usable stuff, and take it to Habitat for someone else to have. So there you have it. Well, that should do it for part one of this rusty, crusty tool cleanup. Like I said, I had to cull quite a few out of it, but I think we're left with some pretty nice items. By the way, I apologize for all the background noise if you can hear it. There's dogs barking and neighbors' chainsaws going and all kinds of stuff going on around here. Anyway, I hope you can hear me okay. But that concludes the part one, and part two will be coming up shortly. So I appreciate you sticking with me through this. I hope it didn't drag on too long, and I'll try not to get too long-winded here. So thank you very much for watching, and I really appreciate any comments you might leave. So until next time, we'll see you.